Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. A federal appeals court last week blocked a proposed land swap that would allow the construction of a massive copper mine at Oak Flat, a site that's considered sacred by Arizona tribes. The temporary block came just hours before the land swap would have been completed. Deborah Kroll is the Indigenous Affairs reporter for the Arizona Republic, and she's been covering this story and how. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on,
All right.
Ted.
So the appeals court temporarily, they took this down to the last minute, didn't they?
It was literally hours before they were going to ink the deal in D.C. Just hours.
Okay, so what exactly, and we should say hours because there was, what, a 60-day review period?
The 60-day review period started on June 20th after the environmental impact statement had been reissued by the Forest Service. There were two lawsuits pending that had been waiting for that new environmental impact statement to be filed. So they revived their lawsuits. The federal court here said, we'll give you the full 60 days to get your lawsuits back in and get it heard. It was heard on August the 6th. Coalition of Environmentalists and Tribes and the San Carlos Apache Tribe, the court ruled against them on August the 15th. They did a weekend appeal to the Ninth Circuit, and the Ninth Circuit gave them a temporary halt so they could go through with their appeal.
So as usual, when you have a 60-day deadline, everything happens on day 59.
Of course.
Yes. Okay, this land swap, it's all important to this copper mine project. Talk to us about that.
Resolution Copper, division of Rio Tinto and BHP, has been wanting to build a giant copper mine there at Oak Flat for, I would say, 25 years. Every year they went to Congress. Congress turned them down. Finally, they went to Senator McCain and a couple of other congressional representatives, and they did a very late last-minute rider to a must-pass defense bill. And of course, those things have to pass, they have to be signed. Even Donald Trump can't get around them. So Obama signed it, and the tribe has been fighting resolution ever since.
Where is Oak Flat?
About 60 miles east of Phoenix. It's in the Pinal Mountains. It's currently in Tonto National Forest. It's about a 2,200-acre campground, riparian zone, rock formations.
Yeah, and right now that's basically what's there. Has there been any preparation of the land for the copper mine? Anything going on so far?
Well, we know that Resolution has been dewatering because there's a lot of groundwater underneath. The last person to rehab the mine, which, as you know, overlooks where Oak Flat is, said that there's a humongous amount of water under there. So they've been dewatering preparatory to getting permission to start the mine process. And they've already dug the 7,000-foot tunnel, and they're going to tunnel underneath the ore body, and they're going to start collapsing the ore body upon itself. That's where the conflict comes in, because eventually Oak Flat will turn into a giant crater and will no longer be passable or usable by people. And
we'll know, it probably still will be considered sacred, though, by American Indian tribes. Talk to us about why this particular land is considered sacred. And I want to get back to the idea that being in Tonto National Forest, because you don't often see national forests being used for ground zero of copper mining. But before we get there, talk about the sacred nature of the land.
Oak Flat is considered sacred to several bands of Apache peoples, and very culturally important to some other peoples, including the Yavapais, to a lesser extent the Otham peoples. And it is considered to be the home, one of the principal homes of the mountain spirits known as Gon. And so these religions are land-based religions. And if the piece of land or the rock formation or the sacred grove or the mountain goes away, that spirituality goes away.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what they're fighting.
Okay, and again, the Tonto National Forest, the federal nature here, that's what that was all about.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a land exchange.
Yes.
Resolution bought up a bunch of parcels of other environmentally sensitive land, which it intends to swap to the Forest Service for Oak Flat.
Where is that other land?
It's scattered throughout the
Okay.
state. Some of it's like down around San Pedro, and some of it's a little bit farther up north. But it's to close private land gaps within public lands.
What was the reasoning behind the Ninth Circuit basically putting this stop on for now?
The courts are very sensitive to allowing people their day in court, whether or not they rule for them or against them. It's like they want them to have their day in court. If in the latest appeal, they did specifically mention they're not adjudicating the merits of the case right now. They're just giving them an opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they're saying is like more time for more what we have to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is the copper company handling this?
I think they're taking a deep breath. They're just kind of moving forward with whatever plans that they can do since they don't have the land. I have been out to see some of the Emery Oak restoration that they've been doing. They have hired a lot of Native people to be like cultural monitors. They've hired some other Apache people from another band to help out with some cultural stuff, and they're just. I believe what they told me last time was we're just keeping the lights on.
Yeah, but the restoration project, it is going on to a certain degree.
Yeah, there's some Emery Oak groves east of Oak Flat that they have been restoring. There's some other Emery Oak groves north of that site that they've been working on. Some up around Camp Verde too, in the mountains in there.
There have been it's been like 2 decades of legal battling. Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, the original bill was floated, I believe, in 2004, and 10 years later they did the last minute writers. That's December 2014.
In your story, you interviewed people who say, in spite of everything else, yes, but this might not even be a viable mining operation.
That was Harry Winters. He's the last person to be in charge of rehabbing, the old Magna mine, which is what Resolution has right now. And it's a little plot of private land. And he says that if you go to the Forest Service and look at all the geology reports, that Resolution may not even be able to do it because that land might not subside upon itself, or some of the geology running a certain way, it might end up affecting Apache Leap, even though their studies say, no, it's not going to affect Apache Leap. We're going to be very careful.
Yeah, interesting. Last question real quickly. What's next in all this?
Well, there's a third lawsuit that got filed at the last minute by 4 Apache women, and they're using a recent Supreme Court decision, the Mahmoud decision, which says the parents have the absolute right to instruct their kids in the religious beliefs, and they say if Oak Flat goes away, they will not be able to fulfill their First Amendment right of instructing their kids. We're going to see what happens.
I was going to say, it sounds like the Deborah Cole employment plan.
It is.
It just keeps you going, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, you're doing a great job on this. Thank you so
thank
much for
you.
sharing the information. It's good to have you here.
Well, it's good to be on again. Maybe someday we'll be able to say this is all over.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.